Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Leadership Giving and Volunteer Engagement breakout session of our Campaign Leaders Conference. It's so glad to have y'all. I recognize some familiar names, so glad to see some of those people I recognize in the room, and glad to see more people are here interested in learning. For those who don't know me, I'm Taylor Grimes, and I am the manager of our affinity groups and corporate relations on the donor relations side of the house. And my job is to help connect the donors to the mission of United Way. And alongside me, I have.
Hello, everyone. My name is Emily Farron. I lead our volunteer engagement efforts at United Way. My team's job is to help connect you and your employees with volunteer experiences and some donor engagement experiences that really help people understand and touch and feel the work of United Way.
So the way this is going to work today is I'll give you a bit more information about what our giving levels and affinity groups are in relations to leadership giving here at United Way. Then Emily will tell you more about volunteer engagement. We'll talk about where you can find all of these resources, and then we'll go ahead and answer it up to questions and answers. We'll be moderating the chat, so please feel free if you have a question as we're talking to put it in the chat and we will answer you. But what I want to talk to you about today is, you've learned a lot through these sessions about the good that we do in the community. You've seen it quite a bit. But there's another group that we engage with that we don't talk about as often. And those are actually our leadership giving donors and our volunteers, right? So their contributions, they make up almost half of the entire community campaign contributions. Last year, over $32 million. And so those donors make these commitments time and time again, and they do that because of the work that the campaign staff does into helping tell the reason why United Way. So these people make these contributions we're so excited for, and then we help connect them to that work. So first, I want to say thank you, because we couldn't do it without our company coordinators or individual volunteers who tell our stories and they champion for our support. So thank you first and foremost to y'all. So on the slide right now, there's a lot of words, but I want to break it down to you about what these different giving levels and what these affinity groups and special initiatives are. So every year, 13,000 individuals give that gift of $1,000 or more to support the greater Houston community. And United Way has staff whose entire goal it is to engage and thank those donors. We do this in a variety of different ways. We do that through writing letters, getting peer-to-peer recognition, or by hosting events that honor and connect them to our work. So we have a few different breakout sessions. Each of the giving levels that you see here, they have co-chairs and they have special task force committed to connecting them to that work. And these are anyone who gives within those contribution amounts. Then what we also have is our special initiatives or our affinity groups. And that's what me and my team work on specifically. And so I want to talk a little bit more about what each of those mean for us at United Way and how you can get engaged. First and foremost, I'm going to talk to you about our Women's Initiative. So our Women's Initiative members, they're professionals, they're community volunteers, they're business leaders, and they get together for a variety of different events or webinars, and they enjoy educational, networking, professional development throughout the year. Sometimes before COVID, we would gather at businesses or homes. And in our new world, we're going to have to connect more virtually, like you see us doing right now. But they are strong, loyal supporters, over 900 members last year, who make personal gifts of $2,500 or more annually. And what I really love about Women's Initiative is the camaraderie that you get when you're there. These are other women who are in similar positions and share very similar successes and struggles, and they get to bounce these ideas off each other while also supporting the community. They're learning about our United Way Bright Beginnings, they're learning about Thrive and all of that. Our next group that we have, and I'm not going in any particular order, I do want to talk about is our young leaders. So our young leaders are those 45 and under, and they give $1,000 or more annually to United Way. And so our focus with young leaders is to really help them with their social and professional growth. We connect them with some of our volunteers from our Stay United, which is our retirees, or our Alexis de Tocqueville Society, which are our donors 10,000 and above. And we connect them there so they can learn about what are the things they need to be doing now to get ahead in their careers, or how they can learn educationally to make sure that their careers continue to support the community and doing all in the community that they can. So with that, I just mentioned Stay United. It's actually our newest initiative. It's for retirees and pre-retirees. So I know some of y'all are planning and dreaming of the day you can retire. And so we made a plan to keep them united, and so they can stay united. And they connect them to service and educational projects, working with other nonprofits in the area, learning about retirement and other great things. And we connect some of those business leaders in our community to the work, to make topics relevant for Stay United. Stay United is also headlined, and we have a great staff member on staff who helps us with planned giving. And so when we talk about retirees, we also talk about what that future means with them. And then we have our link group. It's our youngest group, and they actually, they're a little different, because when we talk about leadership giving, we are typically talking about donors who give $1,000 or more. But I think many of you, if you're in a business, understand the need to connect your youngest individuals, your youngest team members to the work of their community, because when millennials or young professionals feel connected to the community, they often want to stay there and do more. So United Way Link, which stands for Lead Impact Network Change, harnesses the powers of those 30 and under to help kids succeed at school, do things like our Book Nook builds, which are these reading benches that we made to help put in schools and get books in the hands of donors. So we have several different ways to get involved. That's really what our mission was when we created these affinity groups. It was to talk around the work. It was to talk around the work that we do and provide people the opportunity to engage with like-minded professionals while engaging back with the community that we're helping. And despite our virtual world, we still will offer engagement opportunities, including some of them that you'll see on our event calendar online that Emily will show you coming up. So Emily, if you don't mind moving to that, there we go. So our third, so how do you get engaged, right? Or how do you recruit people in your company? I think that's why you're all here as company coordinators or as volunteers. And so we have a couple really easy things here. One's enlist a team in that work, right? And that could be support from the top, that could be your leadership team, but it also could be from your peers. You'd be surprised by the amount of individuals and people right next to you who are already a part of these great initiatives like Women's Initiative, the Young Leaders, or Link. Recruit them as a co-chair internally. Talk to them about how you can bolster and boost that in your company. The next is develop an action plan. United Way planned some of these great events for the group, but we can also work with you on promoting them within your company as part of your campaign, right? So the way we do that is we can connect you to a volunteer from one of these groups and have them help and come in and talk to your team. We can have them sign letters. We can do those things and develop that action plan with you. One of my favorite sayings, and if you've been around United Way for a little bit, you've probably heard of it, it's making the ask, right? The number one reason people don't give is because they weren't asked. So make sure that it's clear that what you're asking for is that support to the community. It's that financial contribution if they're able, or the volunteer support if that's how they need to give at that time. So making sure you make the ask. And then recognize those who donate. So whether it's donating their time or their contributions, make sure you thank them. You can do that within your campaign, but like I mentioned, when I showed you those giving levels before, when I showed you some of those special initiatives, taking it to the next step and providing us the donor data allows us to recognize and thank them. The more that we know who's given us and made a gift to us, the more that we can say thank you on your behalf, the more that we can say thank you on behalf of the community. So I really want to emphasize that donor data, but also recognize a thank you goes a long way. So thank you is huge. And so that's why we emphasize it really big right there. Not only recognizing those who donate through personalized thank you letters, but also just saying thank you from either the campaign coordinator or a volunteer will go really, really far. So with that, I do want to turn it over to Emily because I can talk about all of these great things, but she also can talk about how you can engage those donors in other various events that we have throughout the community. So Emily?
Thank you, Taylor. So I have the pleasure of talking about all the different other volunteer ways that you can get your employees engaged and have your company engaged. Taylor mentioned with those leadership groups, there are custom volunteer and engagement opportunities, and we encourage you to share those giving level opportunities and the events that go along with them. But there may be something that you want to promote widely to your employees or do something custom for your company. And so I get to talk about those today. So many of you may be familiar with our Day of Caring program, which is our volunteer program. In past years, we've worked with you to plan custom projects, get you out in the community, maybe working directly with clients at an agency site. And we're living in a different world right now. And so I just want to start by acknowledging that while we still have some of those opportunities available, it may not be the best fit for your organization. And there are some limitations on what's possible in the community. And so I'm going to start by talking about all the great projects that we have spent time creating that can be done virtually, that can be done remote, that are great for your company to plug into. And then we'll work our way to custom and those community-based organizations, just in case, we're able to do those later in the fall or in the spring. So first, we have a really robust calendar of community events. And when we say events, these are things that our United Way team has planned. They are open to any company, any community group, any individual volunteer who wants to get involved. And we want to share these with you because they're great opportunities for you to plug in your company where you don't have to do a lot of extra work. We've got promotional materials you can use. You can share the information widely and have your employees sign up and participate in these projects. You could also just share the information with your employees. Sometimes you don't want to plan something custom or you have a lot going on, but employees are asking how they can get involved, and these are great resources to share with them. So the first opportunity is a day of action. We have two planned, one on September 18th and one on November 13th. And these are days where we encourage individuals and their families to pick some projects and give back to the community. So United Way is providing a list of projects, all the instructions, material list, anything that they would need. We'll host a video that has extra instructions and information about why we picked these projects. So in September, there's a different set of projects than in November, which November will focus on Thanksgiving and holiday and give back time. All of the projects are remote or virtual. So we're not asking anyone to gather at a public location. You don't have to be in your office to participate. The only community-based kind of work is dropping off the completed projects at an agency, and United Way will provide a list of agency sites and contacts for you to use and select from. Although not all projects have to be dropped off, they could be mailed or done virtually. The second project is Give Back Bingo, and we're really excited about this. So you may not have time to focus on one thing, but want to give your employees or just as an individual, do lots of little things. And so we have prepared a Give Back Bingo card, which is a traditional bingo card, as you all will be familiar with, and I'll show it to you in a second. That has 24 different activities that range from ways to get connected to United Way, things like tell a friend about 211, follow United Way on social media, participate in a day of action, to volunteer remote projects like create a breakfast bag for a senior who's homebound, to just some acts of kindness like decorating the sidewalks in your neighborhood or paying for the person behind you at the drive-through, supporting a local business. And people can choose what they want to do and try to get 5 in a row or bingo. We'll be having 2 cycles of this that people can participate in, one in the fall and one in the spring. If you complete a card and submit it back to us, there will be a prize drawing for some gift cards at the end of each cycle. So it's a great way to encourage people to do more than one activity and participate over an extended period of time. Finally, we have a virtual notes of encouragement portal open, and this is something that you can also post and share if you have an internal site or people are asking. It's completely virtual, so you can go online, submit a note of encouragement to a different population, healthcare workers, frontline workers, like essential employees at grocery stores who, are making sure that we all can pick up our food curbside, or homebound seniors or people living in shelters who are much more restricted and missing some of that social activity. So all of these events are up on our website, which I will show you at the end, but I do want to let you peek at the Give Back Bingo card. So this is an example of a community card looks like. If you participated in yesterday's special events breakout session, the presenters, Allison and Michelle, talked about we do have a custom corporate card. And so know that that's an available option to you as well. If you think you might be interested in doing something like this, but making some of those squares specific to your campaign activities or your company goals, that's an option as well. And you'll just need to reach out to your donor relations contact and we'll get you started. So let's say you want to do something that's a little more custom and specific to your organization. What options do we have? So still staying within that virtual and remote space, there's a couple of things you can do. First are supply drives or DIY kits. So United Way has a list of kits, supplies, things that families and nonprofits need. We can help you set up an online supply drive where people can donate items or give you a kit list. We call it DIY or do it yourself, as you all are probably familiar with, where they can pick, you can pick a topic, purchase items in bulk, and then put them together if you are able to have a certain number of people on your campus. You can do a notes of encouragement project just for your company. We can do a customized portal for your employees to submit notes to a population of your choosing. United Way will print and put your logo on it. And then Give Back Bingo, we mentioned, you can do a custom card that includes even other specific projects that you want. Finally, in-person opportunities. So if we get to a place where you are comfortable going out into the community or having people do projects in your campus using CDC guidelines and social distancing and whatnot, what opportunities are available? So first is our service to go kits. We launched these last year and many of you did them. These are United Way led in-office projects to create client-focused kits. So notes of encouragement care cards where you're making birthday cards for seniors who are homebound. Literacy kits. Many of you made Book Buddies last year, which is a book with a character puppet to go along with it. Things like this. These are full service projects where United Way will bring all the materials, facilitate the project. We've developed some more kits this year and look forward to sharing those when community health conditions are available. Community projects, things like out at an agency site, are currently limited in a couple ways. So first, not all of your agency can take large groups. Many of them are limited to, anywhere between 5 at a time or 15 at a time, depending on what their needs are. The biggest need that we're hearing is food distribution. So for example, one of our United Way partners used to have 3 food fairs a month. So that's where they get a big trailer truck full of food, fresh produce, and families who are in need of food support come through and volunteers help distribute that food. So they used to do 3 a month. They're now doing 3 or 4 a week and really need volunteer support to help make that happen. So if you are interested in doing something like this, this is the first thing we'll recommend. Some still have some facility improvement and landscaping projects for those of you that are interested in that. But again, very small groups, limited, and can kind of change depending on, again, public health restrictions. And then in the past, we've done lots of client interaction projects. So STEM activities or reading with kiddos, playing bingo with seniors. And those just are pretty much not available at this time and likely won't be for the foreseeable future. But this is just some broad strokes and ideas. So if you want to do any of these things, the first thing that I would say is reach out to your donor relations staff person, get connected with us. We'll have a conversation, and you never know when there might be other opportunities that can arise.
Thanks.
So how can people get involved?
Yeah, so I think this is a great thing, right? So how can I get involved? There's several options to get involved. I mentioned earlier when we were talking about those, the affinity groups, a lot of companies already have employee resource groups. If you think back to your company, you may already have some of those employee resource groups there and in your company. Connect them back to us. Let us have our groups do some of that work for you and helping them get engaged and connected to the community. You can learn more about our work and the different groups at the United Way website. And then you can promote that leadership giving in your campaign. One of the groups that I didn't talk about, but is often made of leadership across multiple companies, is our Alexis de Tocqueville Society. And these are leaders and philanthropists in our community who make an annual commitment of $10,000 or more. And you'd be surprised, people you may not even assume could be giving at that level or at another level. They could already be there. There could be, women in your group who are part of United Way and giving at the level and just don't know about it. So promoting that leadership giving levels, promoting the different affinity groups and things in your company is going to be a great way to get them involved and helps take some of the burden off you if we can continue to show them the work that we're doing in the community, if we can send out, the newsletters and things like that. And then talk to your donor relations representative. There's, as Emily mentioned, there's a lot of great volunteer engagement opportunities, whether it's at your house, whether it's through Give Back Bingo, or whether it might be in person as things change and talk. Talk to your donor relations representative about those options, receive a volunteer request form, and let's have a conversation. There's one thing you can probably learn from all of us at United Way is we're not scared of conversation. We like to talk and we'd love to talk to you. So make sure that you reach out to your staff person. And if you don't know them, it's okay. We will help connect you to them. Just let us know. And then you can always reach out to Emily and myself. And then I'd be remiss if I don't mention it just one more time. Track and share your engagement data with us. The best way to engage your donors and the best way to help us help you is for us to receive the data. If you're not comfortable sharing some of it, that's okay. We understand there being, different rules about what you can and cannot share. But at least with an email and a company and a name, we can make sure that they receive a thank you. We want to thank them. We want to get them involved. And so we do that best by getting input from y'all on how to do that and how to reach out. So these are just some of the great ways to get involved. And I think Emily's actually going to show you some of the resources that we have available that they can follow along with as well.
Thanks, Taylor. I am. So while I show you some of the resources, which are all on our website, feel free to brainstorm your questions, put them in the chat. I know we're getting close to our time, so I want to make sure we get all of those answered. So we're going to send out an email. You'll get an email after this that has access to these slides that has the links on them. But I'm going to show you our donor event website, materials and sample communication. So these are things you can use to communicate with your donors and thank them. Some templates, easy to use, ready to go. And then our volunteer engagement website where you can find information on all those events that I talked about. So let me switch over. Okay, hold on. I'm going to have to change my screen share really quickly.
I think this is one of the joys of working remotely.
So the first thing I'm going to show you all is our donor event calendar. If you go to unitedwayhouston.org, there's a handy donor tab at the top. I'm going to pick donor events. So this is where you'll find all the events that are planned that relate to any of those leadership giving groups that Taylor mentioned. They also have most of our volunteer events on here as well. You can scroll through and see we have a few projects listed right now. So Give Back Bingo, a link volunteer project, our September Day of Action, a Women's Initiative Luncheon, and our November Day of Action. So At a glance, you can see all the details. You can also click on one of the events. It'll give a little more information, usually the link for more or a contact person for more information. So this is a good place to just check out, see what's happening, or share with individuals who might be interested. Next, we'll show you brochures and materials. And this is a place where, we've done a lot of work to provide you with all the pieces and parts that need. So there's sample communications, your stories and videos, your brochures, specific information around leadership giving. And so when Taylor talks about saying thank you and communicating, we've got all the resources here, including the 2020 CLC materials. So if you want to see these slides or others, you can access them there. So please don't feel like you have to reinvent the wheel. Use what we've already created for you. And then finally, I'll show you our volunteer page. This one is easy to find as well. So if you go to the main webpage and go to About, you're going to click on Volunteers. And all the projects that I talked about are here. So our community volunteer events, again, these are the ones that are open to any company, any civic group, your family, and individual. And you'll see a similar calendar, but these are just the volunteer community-focused activities. So they don't include Link or WI or any kind of donor group restricted events. So you'll see Give Back Bingo again, Days of Action, 2 days, and we'll update this throughout the year as new events become available. Our ongoing virtual opportunities, so the notes of encouragement that I mentioned, that's open to all. And then we are also gathering virtual opportunities and needs from within our agencies. And so that there's no content here yet, but there will be. And so if you have donors who say, I want to do something, I need to do something virtually, encourage them to check out this page. Information about community investment in our stewardship opportunities, if you want to have people volunteer individually in that way. And then finally, some of the details about our corporate Day of Caring program. But when in doubt, start here and talk to your donor relations counterpart, or donor relations representative. All right, Taylor, I think we're ready for questions.
Yes, I think so. So we gave a lot of information to y'all. So does anyone have any questions about this or how to get involved? Remarkably quiet group. Well, Emily showed some of those resources, and I hope y'all will take a look, go on our website, browse through them, and see what you can utilize. But also, like I mentioned, all of these groups, including some of our volunteer groups, have that opportunity and counterparts that that are volunteers themselves who are willing and able and wanting to have a conversation with you about how to get engaged. So hopefully y'all got a lot of great information today. The volunteer engagement, the website, the calendar, and all of that. Emily and I will stick around if anyone does have questions. And then you can also reach me through my email address, which I'll put here. And then you can reach the volunteer engagement team at their email that I'll include as well. So that way you can talk to one of the volunteer engagement staff, or even if you have a question about who's your donor relations staff person, we'd love to connect you to them. There is a good question. They see that this is being recorded. We will be sharing all of this with y'all on the webpage where the 2020 CLC materials are. You'll find recordings from all of our breakout groups, the main session, all of that, and of course these slides as well. So they'll be available for you to reference back and share with others in your company. All right, well, that's it for us. Like I said, Emily and I will stay around, but thank you all so much for joining our breakout session. We really appreciate it.
Have a great campaign, everyone.
Great.
All right. I hope you enjoyed the breakout sessions and got some good information and tools to help with your campaigns. Be on the lookout for more information from United Way about virtual learning and engagement opportunities throughout the year, including some upcoming lunch and learns. Also, be sure to visit the United Way website for downloadable materials, videos, and stories. And follow United Way on social media to keep up with the latest happenings. I want to thank you all for joining us, and I want to thank you all for all of the time, effort, and heart that you put into your campaigns. It is no secret that too many people in our community are hurting and need help. I feel lucky to be in a position to help, and I know that my gift, combined with yours and the many others you help secure, will help our neighbors get on their feet in the wake of COVID-19 pandemic and help them improve their lives long after. This work that we make possible is truly life-changing. Thank you.